Welcome. In this video, we're going to show you how we do raw meat. We can either do meat cooked or meat raw in the freeze dryer. And whatever way we do it, when we rehydrate it, it maintains that rawness or that already cookedness. Now, the reason that we might want to do raw meat, the very reason that we do raw meat, is so that when I rehydrate it after it has been freeze dried, then I can do things like stir fry. And we always want to do that with raw meat. So that's why I'm doing it. Now, what I've got right here is some flank steak. This flank steak has been rolled, so I'm going to keep it in its rolls and just put it right out here on this tray. And just a single tray the way we're going to do. All right, so this is sirloin steak. And there are times when we'll want to rehydrate and just cook this flank steak raw. This sirloin steak raw. So I'm just going to kind of follow the marbling right here and cut it into smaller, more usable pieces. This is some chuck steak. I use chuck steak for a lot of things, including soups and stews. So again, I'm going to avoid the fat here. I'm going to cut it in the sized pieces that we usually have for a meal. It does have the skin on the back. I am leaving the skin in place. Now, because I have a little bit of room, this is an experiment. I have never done cooked shrimp, but I have a little bit of room that I'm going to try cooked shrimp. So everything is raw except for this cooked shrimp. And we'll see how this turns out. All right, what is going to happen next is we're going to take these out to our regular freezer and we will freeze them overnight. And then in the morning, when they are frozen solid, we will put them into the freeze dryer and we will show you that part when it happens. So we will see you then. Okay, so I picked up the meat from the freezer as we walked by. It's all frozen solid, ready to go into the freeze dryer. This just finished thawing from a previous batch, so I don't think it's thawed all the way. Let's check it. No, it isn't. Ice still there. It's still warm. I'm just going to go ahead and see if I can pull that ice out.
Okay,
Okay, I'm going to go toss this in the sink. We have the rest on the floor. We'll pick that up in a minute. Taking this out to get it dry. Electricity is still connected. And this time I'm going to have a little help. Hey. Gasket back in place. And meat is going in. Here we go. We are going to start, and we're going to say not frozen. Load food into freeze dryer, close drain valve. We'll do that. Drain valve is now closed and the water is empty in the catch bucket, so we are good to go. I imagine this is going to take at least 28 hours is my guess on this. So in any case, we will be back when we're ready to take these out. Okay, I've been monitoring this for about the past 15 minutes. I knew it was getting close and it just quit 25 hours and 4 minutes. So my guess wasn't too far off. So now we're going to check it to see. So we need to open the drain valve. And we'll see how our meat did. These are our flank steak rounds. They're just as light as can be. They appear to be completely dry. Wow, everything looks really good.
Looks almost like styrofoam.
Yeah, it does. It feels like styrofoam. So here's our pork chops. Wow. A little bit of the beef right here. It's done. This is the full amount of beef. I'm just going to break one of these to see how it is. Completely dry. All good. And here's our salmon and our shrimp. All right, everything is good. Meanwhile, we're going to take these in the house, and I think we're going to be putting these in Mylar. So we'll meet you in the kitchen. So this mixed batch of meat just turned out fantastic. This is all raw except for the shrimp. And I am going to package this not in the 2-quart jars because this meat just doesn't lend itself well to that. First of all, this is a little vacuum sealing bag. And I'm going to put the shrimp in here because there's not very much of it. And it will do fine in this little bag. So there we have it, and I have it labeled and dated, and we'll seal this. We will vacuum seal this in just a minute. Next, I'm going to put the see, I've made these Mylar bags came with our Harvest Right freeze dryer. Usually we'll put this in a bowl of water and put it in the refrigerator overnight. The great thing about rehydrating meat is only going to take up the amount of water that it needs. It doesn't take up any extra water. And so when you rehydrate these, then you just pat them dry and then you treat it just like raw meat. Well, I just cut some strips off the end so that I can have some pieces of that textured side. And so here's a little piece of texture, here's a little piece of texture. And I am going to slip those in either corner of the Mylar bag. And then I'm going to put it right in here. Now, if this works, what we will see is the bag will suck up. Normally, it does not do that because we don't vacuum seal, we just drop an oxygen absorber in. So let's see if this is going to work for us. And I'm just going to pull it a tiny bit and do a second seal. So very nicely sealed. So our resolution here is a big fat success. We have all of these raw freeze-dried meats ready to go, ready to reconstitute and then incorporate into stir fry or anything else we want to use raw meat for, except for our little bit of shrimp, which is cooked. So that will do it for this one.